Good day, sir. Today we will be going to present our Repetitio in Hidayat's on the struggle for recognition. In this article, the author asks whether regional philosophy in general and Southeast Asian philosophy in particular can be constructed and accepted. To this question, we answer that regional philosophies can be constructed and accepted if Southeast Asian philosophy is established because it can be a philosophical umbrella that will help minor philosophies to thrive and develop. In other words, regional philosophy can only be constructed and accepted if this is not alone in its endeavor and has the help of its neighboring country's philosophy in its development.
We say this because, first, to be acknowledged and accepted as one of the major traditions of Asian philosophy, that the regional philosophies should be united under one philosophical umbrella and cooperate with each other so that all of them may equally have a high standing in the world of philosophy. Second, regional philosophical enterprise can contribute to the enrichment of ASEAN philosophy, popularizing regional philosophies that have not been popular. And third, Western philosophers have slowly realized through criticism aimed at the racism that philosophical traditions do not only belong to them but also to other races and culture.
So, to illustrate the first point, we have experience making research papers and having trouble on how to write and develop them. So, we asked advice and help from others, especially our mentors, on how to formulate subject matter in our philosophical studies and how to resolve the troubles that we are facing. As for the second point, imagine a scenario when Filipino philosophy was established. Filipino philosophy was also popularized, and it was not only limited to the thoughts of some well known people in our country, such as Jose Rizal, but it was also extended even to the rich thought and philosophy of indigenous Filipinos. So, with regard to the third point, many people have witnessed that there are various subdisciplines of philosophy through which the attempt to accommodate non-Western traditions have been conducted, such as in the works concerning Asian philosophies.
However, other people claim, on the contrary, that they have experienced that even Eastern academias are willing to and unwilling to acknowledge minor traditions of Asian philosophy. Second, concerning to the second point, others object that when it comes to Asian philosophy and other philosophy, people will only acknowledge major philosophies and just set aside those that are minor. And about the third, some people cite instances that despite recognition and apologetics, Eastern philosophers, particularly minor tradition, are still suffering from discrimination.
So, to answer the first objection, we reply that it is the elitist epistemic hegemony that they only limit Asian philosophy with three traditions, namely Indian, Chinese, and Japanese. But Asian philosophy is not only composed of those three major traditions. As an illustration, take the case of a Filipino philosophy that is also a part of Asian philosophy that should also contribute positively to its traditions. To the second objection, we say that philosophy is not only a true love for wisdom that is limited to major traditions, but it is also a true love for wisdom that includes pursuing a wisdom of minor traditions. Consider the situation where Chinese philosophy and Filipino philosophy are very different from one another, but we cannot also deny the fact that they have family resemblance, which cannot be known if we dichotomize them apart from each other, and they too compose Asian philosophy. As to the third objection, we assert that when it comes to philosophy, people will associate it with Western so as a result. They trust more the Western traditions and they are doubting the credibility of some minor traditions in the East. At times, we have seen Western philosophy is very known and popular all over the world. And on the other hand, Southeast Asian philosophy, particularly minor traditions, are not that known by many not for the reason that it is isolated, but because of the philosophical academic selectivity.
So, to end, we conclude that regional philosophy or minor traditions will be established and recognized if they will have a support system, especially in their neighboring countries, to help them thrive and develop by becoming its philosophical umbrella. While discussing these points, we have realized that philosophy's true love for wisdom is all embracing, and this true love for wisdom will not be attained if people continue their prejudice against minor traditions and stereotypes about philosophy that the major traditions are the only credible and authentic philosophy. We have also come to see that the challenge to accept and trust minor traditions without any prejudice is not only directed to those philosophers who are in major traditions, but also to those philosophers who are in um, minor traditions who keep on rejecting and setting aside minor traditions and simply pursuing only the wisdom of major traditions. Lastly, it has become clear to us that philosophizing is not only exclusive to philosophers who belong in major traditions, but rather it is inclusive for the reason that philosophizing can be done by all people who desire for knowledge and wisdom and have the heart to pursue it.
For the application, so starting today, we'll be going to read, support, and appreciate minor philosophy not only limited to our country, but also the philosophies of our neighboring countries that are still thriving and developing. And that's all. Thank you for watching and listening.